This book is called Hidden Passions: Secrets from the Diaries of Tabitha Lennox. Try not to pay attention to how filthy my background is, but do pay attention to this lovely meal. All right. Welcome to Harmony. On the surface, this seaside town is a New England dream of the cobblestone streets and charming colonial homes. Colonel. In its sleepy little harbor, fishing trawlers bob next to pleasure yachts on sun-drenched waves. But beneath the picture-perfect waters and walkways lie tumultuous secrets that threaten to tear Harmony's families apart. Hidden Passions turns back the clock in this quaint town more than 20 years to reveal the intimate details of those secrets. Sam Bennett is the hardworking son of the town's police chief. Handsome and well built, he catches the eye of every woman in town. Unfortunately, his heart belongs to one who will break it. Eve Johnson is an upstanding, primed student who, on a lark, decides to pursue a private fantasy, one that could ravage her life. Julian Crane is a wealthy law student who is desperate to marry the beautiful Ivy Winthrop, but the reason why could shatter Ivy's happiness forever. T.C. Russell lives to become a tennis pro, but his heartfelt dream is about to be smashed in a way no one could ever suspect. Grace Standish is a homeschooled farm girl who wants nothing more than to live a peaceful life in the country until her mother reveals a shocking secret. Only one woman knows the intimate details of all their stories. While everyone in Harmony believes this woman is nothing more than a harmless eccentric, the truth is that she is an irrepressible sorceress of darkness who's been causing trouble in Harmony even before Prudence Standish accused her of being a witch in 1693. A grudge this society, This society, shamanist, still holds today. She has always known the hidden passions of every man, woman, and child in this quiet harbor town, but only now is she ready to reveal the tantalizing details to you. So turn off the coast road and enter Harmony, but be very careful if you should encounter a mysterious woman carrying a doll. As she's done with Harmony townfolk for hundreds of years, she may very well look into your heart to see what it is you truly desire and grant it for a terribly high price. Tabitha Lennox is a longtime resident of Harmony, the picturesque New England town she writes about in Hidden Passions. No one quite knows how long she has lived there, though she herself claims to be the same Tabitha Lennox who, after being accused of practicing witchcraft in the late 1600s, vowed eternal revenge on the families of Harmony and their descendants for their roles in burning her at the stake. Although Lennox has contributed to the biographies of several of New England's most prominent citizens, this memoir, a heated expose about the long smoldering secrets of Harmony's elite and her own role in fanning their fires, is her first published tell-all to date. She lives with her cat Fluffy, her confidant Timmy, what a doll, and several boarders who room in the sizable basement of her landmark home. Tabitha Lennox. I'm gonna see what I can read. I said it was gonna be chapter 1, but if you happen to live in the picturesque New England town of Harmony, oh, my hair. No, don't look at it. Sorry. If you happen to live in the picturesque New England town of Harmony, then you know what an amazing soap opera its residents lives. Fuck, that suck. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start over. If you happen to live in the picturesque New England town of Harmony, then you know what amazing soap opera its residents' lives have become over the years. If you do not live among us, then perhaps you are one of our frequent visitors. This is, after all, a tourist town, attracting millions every season. Maybe you've enjoyed the sunrise over our little harbor or even gotten to know some of our citizens. The powerful Crane family, the respected Dr. Russell and her husband, Police Chief Bennett and his wife. Timmy can assure you, however, that no matter how many times you've visited Harmony, you know only a fraction of what has gone on beyond the shuttered windows of its stately old colonials. There is but one person who knows the scandalous past histories, not to mention private passions, of our upstanding residents. That person, dear reader, is Tabitha Lennox. This is Timmy. I just woke up. Don't look at the time though. And I'm braiding my hair. How am I doing? Okay. Often dismissed by her neighbors as batty, eccentric, old character who carries around an exceedingly adorable and dashingly handsome doll, no other description of Timmy will do. Tabitha has more charm, or should Tim Tim say charms, than she'd like to let on. Her Harmony diaries document her clever handiwork at manipulating the lives and hearts of those around her. Timmy should know. He's read more than 300 years worth of entries, and she's drawn from them to create the revealing tell all you now hold in your hands. Tabby came up with the idea for Hidden Passions 20 years ago. With her abundance of supernatural skills, she saw no reason why she couldn't conjure up a romance as breathless and satisfying as any of those written by Jacqueline Susann, Danielle Steele, or one of those Collins women. And so she has, Timmy must admit. As she worked on the book, Tabby was certain she'd be joining the ranks of all those other rich, glamorous, best-selling authors. But after Tabby completed her masterpiece, she decided that she made a terrible mistake. She could never allow Hidden Passions to be public, even anonymously, because the risk was too great. Not the risk to others, you understand, but to herself. You see, Tabby never had a problem exposing people for who they really are. The great ones never do. But her own secrets, well, that was another matter entirely. Tabby was not ready to tell the world that she has been a sorceress, a spellcaster, a woman of untold powers who has been causing trouble around Harmony for centuries. Timmy really can't blame Tabitha for her little identity issues. After all, the last time her true nature became public, the Harmony townsfolk burned her at the stake. In 1693, sentencing guidelines for witches were not yet fashionable, and it appears that Tabby will never forgive the town for this heated event. Would you? It was only through the latent publishing of genius of her enchanted elven doll, Timmy, that this manuscript was discovered in Tabby's attic. A well timed call was placed to a most influential party at HarperCollins in New York, and the manuscript was subsequently printed in the form you now hold in your hands. While Timmy would like to state that his bold action was a selfless attempt to benefit the great literary canon, the truth is, Tim Tim needed the money for Martinis. This uniquely uplifting beverage, one of Timmy's finest creations, requires secret ingredients that are a tad costly. And to Tim Tim's horror, Tabby's monetary reserves has suddenly run dry. Once the book contract was signed, Timmy convinced both Tabitha and her editor to supplement this nearly complete work with entries from Tabitha's diaries, as well as insightful Timmy notes. Just keep your eye out for the little Martini glass throughout. The words spilling forth from them will shed further light for you. Dear reader, on both the history of our town and the creative choices of our author. Surely the most enchanting literary goddess of the new millennium. Finally, Timmy must compliment Tabitha for the risk she is taking here in exposing herself to the world at large and to Harmony's townspeople in particular. Even in this day and age, one must not rule out the public frying of those who air their neighbors' dirty laundry. Then again, the only reason Tabby is taking this risk is that she has thought up a clever way to cover her posterior. You see, a marvelous spell has already been cast upon you with the simple act of having opened the cover of this book. You shall forget that everything you read herein is true. You will think of it only as fiction, a conjurer's fantasy, and no more. Or as Tabby herself has put it, like a dream you won't recall, all my secrets you read here, they will fade from memory, keeping my neck in the clear. Timmy. Chapter 1, The Cranes. Above the crashing waves of the New England coastline, crowning the top of Raven Hill, the Crane Mansion stood overlooking the small town of Harmony like an imposing monarch. Inside this vast estate, not so very long ago, an innocent pair of eyes searched the face of a refined, mature woman. "Read to me, Mommy," cried 2-year-old Sheridan Crane, tucked beneath the covers of her miniature canopy bed. I'm going to stop here and return. Stop! Leave him alone,